Which GDPR principle stipulates that personal data should be kept in a form which permits identification of data subjects for no longer than is necessary for the purposes for which the personal data are processed? A. Data minimization. B. Integrity and confidentiality. C. Storage limitation. D. Lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. Correct answer: C. Storage limitation. In the context of international data transfers, what mechanism can be used as a safeguard for transferring personal data from the European Union to third countries not deemed to have an adequate level of data protection? A. Binding corporate rules, BCRs. B. General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. Consent for MC, Privacy Information Management System, PIMS. D. Data Protection Impact Assessment, DPIA. Correct answer: A. Binding corporate rules, BCRs. The concept of privacy by default under GDPR requires that only personal data which are necessary for each specific purpose of the processing are processed. This concept applies to which aspects of data processing? A. The amount of personal data collected. B. The extent of their processing. C. The period of their storage. D. All of the above. Correct answer: D. All of the above. Under GDPR, when must a data protection impact assessment, DPIA, be conducted? A. Before any kind of personal data processing takes place. B. When processing is likely to result in a high risk to the rights and freedoms of natural persons. C. Annually for all types of data processing activities. D. Only when processing sensitive personal data. Correct answer: B. When processing is likely to result in a high risk to the rights and freedoms of natural persons. Which of the following best describes the role of the lead supervisory authority under GDPR? A. The primary point of contact for the data subject to lodge complaints. B. The supervisory authority in the member state where the data processor has its main establishment. C. The supervisory authority with the primary responsibility for cross-border data processing activities. D. The only authority that can issue fines under GDPR. Correct answer: C. The supervisory authority with the primary responsibility for cross-border data processing activities. Under GDPR, for which of the following scenarios is it mandatory to appoint a data protection officer, DPO? A. Only for public authorities or bodies. B. Where the core activities of the controller or the processor consist of processing operations which require regular and systematic monitoring of data subjects on a large scale. C. When the organization processes data of less than 1,000 data subjects in a year. D. For any European company with more than 250 employees. Correct answer: B. Where the core activities of the controller or the processor consist of processing operations which require regular and systematic monitoring of data subjects on a large scale. Which statement best defines the principle of accountability under GDPR? A. Data controllers are responsible for, and must be able to demonstrate, compliance with the other GDPR principles. B. Data subjects must be informed about how their data is being processed. C. Personal data must be processed in a manner that ensures appropriate security. D. Processing of personal data should be done in a lawful, fair, and transparent manner. Correct answer: A. Data controllers are responsible for, and must be able to demonstrate, compliance with the other GDPR principles. Under CIPM, what is the term used to describe the act of a business selling personal information to another business or third party for monetary or other valuable consideration? A. Disclosure. B. Transfer. C. Sale. D. Exchange. Correct answer: C. Sale. In terms of data protection, what is the main purpose of anonymization? A. To secure personal data against unauthorized access. B. To transform personal data in such a way that the data subject is not or no longer identifiable. C. To ensure the availability of data for processing activities. D. To comply with the data subject's right to erasure. Correct answer: B. To transform personal data in such a way that the data subject is not or no longer identifiable. What is the primary difference between a data controller and a data processor? A. A data controller determines the purposes and means of processing personal data, while a data processor processes personal data on behalf of the controller. B. A data processor is responsible for collecting personal data, whereas a data controller is responsible for storing etc. A data controller is a public authority, while a data processor is a private company. D. There is no significant difference. The terms are interchangeable. Correct answer: A. A data controller determines the purposes and means of processing personal data, while a data processor processes personal data on behalf of the controller. Which GDPR article explicitly addresses the processing of personal data relating to criminal convictions and offenses? A. Article 6b, Article 10c, Article 22d, Article 32. Correct answer. B. Article 10. In the context of GDPR, what is the significance of a data protection by design and by default approach? A. It mandates the use of state-of-the-art security measures at all times. B. It requires integrating data protection principles in the development phase of products, services, and processes. C. It is a recommendation, not a requirement, for companies operating outside the EU. D. It applies only to the design of websites and online services. Correct answer. B. It requires integrating data protection principles in the development phase of products, services, and processes. Under which conditions can a data protection authority, DPIA, impose a temporary or definitive limitation including a ban on processing under the GDPR? A. When the data processor fails to appoint a data protection officer, DPO. B. If the processing has infringed provisions of the GDPR. C. When personal data is transferred outside the EU without adequate safeguards. D. Only if the data subject requests such a ban. Correct answer. B. If the processing has infringed provisions of the GDPR. How does the concept of pseudonymization differ from anonymization in the context of GDPR? A. Pseudonymization is a reversible process, while anonymization is irreversible. B. Anonymization is a form of data encryption, pseudonymization is not. C. Pseudonymization is recommended for temporary data storage, while anonymization is not. D. Anonymization applies only to data at rest, while pseudonymization applies to data in transit. Correct answer. A. Pseudonymization is a reversible process, while anonymization is irreversible. What is the threshold for notifying the relevant supervisory authority of a personal data breach under GDPR? A. Any breach that is likely to result in a risk to the rights and freedoms of individuals. B. Only breaches that result in financial loss to the data subject. C. Breaches that affect more than 500 individuals. D. All personal data breaches, regardless of their nature. Correct answer. A. Any breach that is likely to result in a risk to the rights and freedoms of individuals. Under GDPR, which principle requires that personal data collected for one purpose should not be used for a new, incompatible purpose without further consent from the data subject? A. Purpose limitation. B. Data minimization. C. Storage limitation. D. Integrity and confidentiality. Correct answer. A. Purpose limitation. How does the right to object under GDPR specifically impact direct marketing activities? A. Individuals can object to direct marketing at any time, and organizations must comply immediately. B. Individuals must prove significant harm from direct marketing to exercise this right. C. This right only applies if the individual has previously consented to marketing. D. Organizations have 30 days to comply with the objection. Correct answer. A. Individuals can object to direct marketing at any time, and organizations must comply immediately.